How's it going, folks? Sure back. Uh, Thought I'd come on and show some more records, do some more talking. I've got a lot of stuff on the floor that needs to be put away, so I figured let's roll tape and go through some of these before they go back to the shelves. What we're listening to, it's right now in the middle of side 2, is this lovely Farouk Bey record, Farouk Z Bey, recorded live at the Detroit Art Space, May of 2004. Farouk Bey. Tops. And this isn't with the Northwoods Improvisers. It's his usual band during this time. It's a quartet with a piano and Fender Rhodes. This might be the only Farouk Bey album I have with piano. And a special guest, Mike Carey, on some flute. Yeah, outstanding record here. Killer cover on the Sagittarius label. The first thing I want to show, sometimes I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what's going on. I made that Deutsche Grammophon flip video, and I thought about that before, but what really inspired me to finally do it was because I got this album a couple weeks ago, this Hans Werner Henze, and I forgot to include it in the flip video. El Cimarron. This is a double. I think this is from 1971. Recorded in 71, 73. It's a nice, beautiful copy. El Cimarron, The Runaway Slave. It's based on the autobiography of, I can't remember his first name. His last name is Montejo. Esteban Montejo, who escaped slavery in Cuba towards the end of the 1800s, 1870s, 1880, and he purportedly lived to be like 110, 111 years old, and he told his story to a writer who ended up putting out a book, Autobiography of a Runaway Slave. And so this album is based on that book with some vocals, baritone, deep baritone William Pearson, and then it's all accompanied by flute and guitar and percussion. Karl-Heinz Zoller on flute, Leo Brauer on guitar, and Stomu Yamashita on percussion. There's a nice booklet in here. Here are the participants. Great picture on this side. Stomu, that one. That's a great shot. Yeah, so I forgot to include this. And this is the reason why I did the flip video. So there's that. Let's see. Oh yeah, last week. Yeah, right here. I got something in the mail out of the blue from Chris, John Coltrane 68. And excuse me. Yeah, just more amazing stuff from Chris. Let's see. There were 5 albums. Here we go. Yeah, the first one is this Okora music of the Persian Gulf, essentially from Bahrain. And I've already listened to this 3 or 4 times. I feel like I listened and I talk about Middle Eastern music so much. It's the usual thing where it just gets to my spirit, and yeah, really amazing stuff. Another one with the booklet attached is a really old copy, and the record goes in here. You got flute, you got strings, you got percussion. Yeah, amazing, amazing gift right there, Chris. And this interesting one, Jacques Lussier Trio plays Bach, Volume 3. I didn't know about these. I guess there are at least 3. Yeah, this was an interesting listen. I didn't know what to expect from this. It's piano, bass, drums with Christian Garros and Pierre Michelot on the Decca label. Yeah, really nice stuff. And looks to be like a French copy. This is really cool. The Black Struggle in Song and Story. Brother F.D. Kirkpatrick and Fred Starner. So basically, this is some narration along with music about the Black struggle up to this point. This was, I believe, late 60s, maybe. It's a private press. Frederick Douglass Kirkpatrick and Fred Starner were associated with Pete Seeger in the late 50s, early 60s. And yeah, you get a lot of traditional stuff here. It starts off with the Ballad of Harriet Tubman. There's Mary Mac, Steal Away to Jesus, Bourgeoisie Blues. Is it almost like a Folkways? Like if you heard this, you would think, oh, the Folkways must have put this out. It's that kind of album. Yeah, really nice one. This Charles Warren CRI with Donald Martino on the other side. I have a Charles Warren on Nonesuch. I'm wondering if is it the same piece? But yeah, experimental stuff. I only listened to this once. You gotta have multiple listens and really take it in. And this one I haven't listened to, but Central Africa Republic. Anthology of African Music on UNESCO. Another one for the UNESCO section. I'm really looking forward to this. Another one with a booklet attached. There's some pictures. Yeah, again, it's unbelievable. Chris, man. Let me put on something else here. Yeah, this Farouk Bey. He's just... Put on this record. John in Birmingham, it's been a couple weeks now. He made a video and he talked about, he was showing some albums that have like a east-west, but like rock, sitar in rock music, I guess you could say. And it immediately made me think of this album. One of them shows Ananda Shankar. I have that album, the yellow one. Ashwin Batish. Sitar Power. Yeah. This is from '86. I think on his own Batish Records label. From Santa Cruz. Yeah. And I had a hard time thinking of some other stuff that has sitar on the more obscure side. No Beatles, Stones, things like that. This doesn't have sitar, but somehow I thought of it. It's Mystic Siva. Out of Detroit. Kind of a... I mean, to me it's just rock and roll, but you could say it's guitar... like guitar or garage, psych kind of thing. Yeah, really good album, even though there's no sitar. It has the Indian imagery, Mystic Siva. It really should be Shiva. This is, I mean, Shiva was a deity. This is Siva, the four-armed creator and destroyer. They're spelling it without the H. Yeah, really good. Klimt reissue. I was on a 80s jazz kind of kick here recently, so I broke out a bunch of stuff. I was almost going to do a Gimme 10, but it didn't happen. A lot of times, if I get an idea and I don't implement it right away, then I lose interest. But here's some 80s jazz that I listened to. It probably got prompted by this Ornette Coleman record, Virgin Beauty from 1987. And this is probably mainly known for the fact that Jerry Garcia plays on 3 or 4 numbers. Yeah, this is really good. Coleman didn't record much in the 80s. He did this song X, and one other, Prime Time. Song X, of course, is with Pat Metheny, but this is really quirky. It's almost like a dance record. Yeah, really good. I actually think I put it away. I listened to Change of the Century also from 59, 60, so almost 30 years, over 25 years apart between recordings, and to kind of see the differences. He's always been kind of quirky and odd times or no time. But this has 3 guitarists on it, on some of these. Jerry Garcia, Burn Nix, and who's the other one? Charlie Ellerly. Yeah. And there are a lot of songs on here. Yeah, this is really good. Virgin Beauty. You could say it's an album that gets overlooked in my collection. But yeah, and the great Michael Valentini is talking about how he's listened to this a lot lately. You got from 82, Johnny Coles on the Crisscross label. Yeah, this is really nice. Horace Parlan, Reggie Johnson, Billy Hart. Anything with Billy Hart, you got to give it a shot. Yeah, Johnny Coles is famous for his little Johnny C on Blue Note. This is a great quartet, straight ahead session. District 6, Chris McGregor. This is from 87 on the E.G. Brian Eno's label. Yeah, this is really nice. South African. As District 6, they made 3 albums, I think. It's a quintet. with Brian Abrams on drums. Sorry, it's hard for me to read. The lettering blends into the pictures. But yeah, another nice one. Dollar Brand, Zimbabwe. Decided to play this one. Oh yeah. Yeah, with Carlos Ward, Esiet Okun Esiet, and Don Mumford. And this is outstanding. This is from '84. It came out in '84. Was it recorded in '84? No, recorded in '83. Came out in '84. Does another version of For Coltrane. This is Enya. Yeah, and here's one I hadn't put on in a long time. Jessica Williams, Update, pianist. And this is '82, but this has Eddie Harris on it. They do some monk. It's very monk influenced. Here I have another Jessica Williams organomic music, and that has Eddie Henderson. Yeah, it's from like '78, '79. Yeah, nice cheap album. Some more stuff from the '80s. Alvin Queen, Ashanti. Yeah, this is on his own Nilva label. This is really good. This isn't necessarily the full-on spiritual jazz you might expect from this cover, but it's really nice modal. There's a couple of drum solos, short drum solos as their own songs on here, which I like drums. I like drum solos. To me, it seems like drum solos bother some people. To me, I just take it as it comes. And sometimes they're amazing. But yeah, this is recorded in '81. Yeah, really nice. James Spaulding is on here. Billy Saxton, Dusko Gojkovic, John Hicks on piano, Alvin Queen drums, and Ray Drummond on bass. There they are. I love Ray Drummond's Peugeot t-shirt. There. Classic, '81. Sonny Greenwich. Talk about Sonny Greenwich a lot. It seems like every 8 videos I talk about Sonny Greenwich, Canadian guitarist. And this is from '86 on Just in Time Records, recorded in Montreal. Yeah, Sonny Greenwich. He's one of these guys. He plays guitar, but is more influenced by saxophonists. Let me put on something else. I feel like it's not easy to talk with that music on. Yeah, so that was Sitar Power. 18. Part of me is hoping this doesn't go on for 35 minutes, but then I also think, well, what are you gonna do? Yeah, what do we got here? Oh, you know what? Let's put on different kind of Indian music. Yeah. Yeah, this is a good one. Ramani, Soul of the Indian Flute, on World Pacific label. Best I can describe this is, I mean, you're going to hear it for yourself anyway, but it's almost like a jazz combo. Improvising in many respects. It's like a jazz combo. Oh yeah, this isn't 80s, but broke this out. Paul Gonzalez, Buenos Aires session, and this is a reissue from the mid '70s on Catalyst. Can't remember what label it was originally on. I think this is from '67 originally. It came out '67, '68, recorded in Buenos Aires, and yeah, this is really nice record. It's Gonzalez with Argentinian musicians, Eduardo Casala drums, basically rhythm section from Argentina, Alfredo Rimas and Enrique Villegas, and Willie Cook on trumpet. Excellent stuff. Cheap again. This should be. That one. Is there more 80s stuff? Oh yeah, I got in this Sahib Shahid. It seems like every once in a while, like a couple years, I just want to hear stuff I have with Sahib Shihab, and I was playing this a number of times. Argo label, 1963. Sahib Shihab plays alto, flute, baritone. To me, he is the best baritone saxophonist I've heard. I love his tone on the baritone. It's it's kind of bold and like heavy in its tone. It just comes barreling out at you. And of course, he's on the Coltrane Prestige record. Yeah, and he was in the Kenny Clarke, Francie Boland big band for a long time, and some of them are on here. Francie Boland is on here, Jimmy Wood on bass, Kenny Clarke, Ike Pearson trombone. Excellent stuff. And I put on, I think just side 4 of this. He's on side 4 of side 2 of Mal 2, which is side 4 of this record, Mal 1 and 2, as a twofer. Yeah. Coltrane's on here, McLean, all kinds of people on here. But again, he's playing, I think he only plays alto on here actually. But man, Sahib Shihab, and of course, anything with Mal Waldron practically can't go wrong. And this is nice too for Mal 1 and 2, recorded in 56, 57. I was looking at the information on this, and I was like, I see the recording dates, 1956 and 57. And it kind of, I was thinking, man, when I was first really getting into jazz in the 90s and engulfing myself in information, notes, and recording dates and things like that. Back then, 1956, when I was listening to stuff from 1956, it seemed like, man, this is really old. But now, it's like 30 years later. And it's even old, like thinking to 1956 now, it's like, how many years ago is that almost? 70? And yeah, it just kind of was like, this stuff is now a lot older than when I first discovered it, which is, I don't know, to me, like, wow. So yeah. What else we got here? Are we at 20 minutes? Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, where's that? Sorry, this is kind of disorganized. like I said, I hit play and don't really have a plan. In my last talking video, I showed the Black Composers series box, and one of the the composers featured on there was Talib Hakim. And Chris put in the comments, he's Joe Chambers' brother, which I didn't know. And in the booklet on that box, in the write-up on him, doesn't mention it. And I don't recall ever reading that in anything over the years. But then it occurred to me, I'm like, wait a second. I have this, New American Music, Volume 3, Talib Hakim is featured on this. And again, I never put it together, but his song is Placements, so by Talib Hakim, and then in parentheses, Stephen A. Chambers. And this is for 5 percussion and piano, and one of the percussionists is Joe Chambers. But I never made the connection. And Omar Clay is on this, Warren Smith, Barbara Burton, Wilson Morman, and Stanley Cowell is the pianist. These New American Music series, there's 4 of them on Folkways. They're all excellent. I think a lot of people, there's a jazz one, people into jazz, Volume 1 has Gil Evans, Milford Graves, Mary Lou Williams, Sam Rivers, and Sonny Murray. A lot of the jazz people would be into that one. But yeah, who would have thought? I don't know if I'm not remembering or I never have read anything about Joe Chambers and his brother. But the Joe Chambers thing, I thought of putting this album on. Don Friedman, Metamorphosis, with Attila Zoller on guitar, Richard Davis bass, and Joe Chambers drums. Friedman on piano. This is, I think this was recorded in 66. The Andrew Hill album, the Judgment, what's the other one? My memory is really bad now. The other Blue Note, basically the piano, vibes, bass, drums. This is something like that, but instead of vibes, you have a guitar. Attila Zoller, Hungarian guitarist, amazing guitar player. I mean, he goes back to the 50s. Played with Oscar Pettiford. But yeah, this is a really nice album. Nice, laid-back evening album. Don Friedman on Prestige. I found this a few months ago. It was really cheap. I figured, Babik Reinhardt, Django's son, and this album is for his dad. Basically the same kind of stuff as Django. Really nice stuff, and does a lot of his dad's songs, or they're all his dad's songs. Stefan Grappelli is credited on a couple. Yeah, really nice. It doesn't have a year. I'm guessing mid-70s. And Soraya Malik. Excellent stuff here on the Monitor label. Sing songs from the Middle East. Don't judge this by the cover. This is her voice. I mean, this is really like almost like a soul album in some way. Actually, the next one too I have, but just sung. This one's sung in Turkish. excellent music, excellent backing, but her voice is just so smooth. And man, this is really good. You wouldn't. Soria Malik was a belly dancer and a singer. I think she was somewhat of a known belly dancer during the 60s, and she made some vocal albums, but her voice is excellent. And I recently got this on the Habibi Funk label, this Maha. Man, this is good. This is really like a funk or soul record. Yeah, excellent stuff. Booklet.